Hello and welcome back to the Finance Spark, the place for you to spark your financial mindset. For those of you who weren't blessed to find yourself in a high-paying career, you may be wondering how you can go from a low-salary job to becoming wealthy. In fact, it is a common misconception that a low-paying salary equals a low amount of money at retirement. Well, not to worry, because that is not the case at all. In fact, there are specific proven steps you can take to become a millionaire, despite working at a low-salary job. In this video, we're going to share how you can go from paycheck zero to retirement hero. Ready? Let's go! Step 1. Begin your financial journey right now. Humans have a terrible problem with procrastination. We hold off saving and investing, finding our dream job, and making changes that would bring us financial satisfaction. The reality is that as a low-wage earner, time is one of your most valuable assets in wealth generation, and you must maximize the time you have. Don't waste money today, assuming that you'll be able to flip a switch tomorrow, thinking you're on your way to a future of prosperity. Instead, begin your financial journey now by developing savings habits, limiting your spending, and incorporating good financial principles into your daily life. The second step is to develop SMART goals. Having a financial plan is critical to your total success, whether you earn millions of dollars a year or a fraction of that. Setting goals allows you to map out a clear path to financial growth. Goals work as a source of inspiration, especially when checked regularly. However, the difference between those who become wealthy and the average Joe is that the wealthy know the secrets to exponentially fulfilling their goals. Using the SMART approach will help you increase your chances of accomplishing your goals. This approach requires that your goal must be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. For example, as someone with a lower salary, your financial goal might be to save at least $6,000 in 12 months by setting up monthly investment contributions. Having a strong system that meets all of the elements of the SMART approach will make you more likely to achieve your financial goals. Step number 3 is to establish and set a budget. This is what an average individual's money looks like. Their earnings cover their expenses such as rent, mortgage, insurance, and food. After that, they pay for electricity, consumer loans, liabilities like credit card debt, a car, and a mortgage. Contrary to popular belief, your principal residence is not an asset because it does not generate revenue. However, if you were to rent out a portion of your home to a tenant, then yes, it is an asset. Everyone, whether they have $1 million in the bank or earn a small income, requires a budget. Unfortunately, not everyone understands the significance of budgeting in achieving financial goals. In a recent survey, more than 60% of U.S. households do not have a budget, which is why more than 75% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. You will need to be even more cautious in your budgeting methods as a low-income earner than your high-income earning counterparts, because you have fewer earnings than you can afford to spend. Many individuals consider creating and sticking to a budget to be a hassle. Yet, there are numerous advantages to employing this powerful financial instrument. Budgets allow you to track your progress toward the goal you've just set. They also give you a sense of financial management. Finally, having to input your salary and expenses into a budget forces you to remain mindful of your financial situation, allowing you to make more financially advantageous decisions. Here's an example of how wealthy people budget their money. They get paid, and their income covers their expenses. But after that, things get interesting. Rather than spending their money on liabilities or things that take money out of their pockets, they buy assets such as stocks, bonds, real estate, or businesses. And that's not even the most exciting part. If you look at what happens to average people's money after they buy liabilities, some of these circle around and become expenses, and oftentimes, these turn into regular spending. However, the wealthy's money returns to the income part in the form of dividends from their stocks, interest from their bonds, rental income from real estate, and profits from their businesses. If you like learning how to level up your financial game, then be sure to subscribe to Finance Spark, where we post up videos every week to help you spark your financial mindset. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like button and smash the bell icon to be notified every time we release a new video. The fourth step is to accept that a thrifty lifestyle can be exciting. Earning a modest income requires you to be disciplined in your saving methods to build your wealth. Being frugal does not imply that your life must be boring. It is still possible to have a nice life while also saving money. There are several affordable ways to entertain yourself, such as watching movies or spending time with family and friends. Most free activities, such as the one I just named, provide us with more satisfaction than buying expensive cars or luxury bags. Therefore, while earning a lesser income requires you to be financially responsible, it doesn't need to be monotonous. The fifth step in building wealth with a low salary is to get rid of high-interest loans. Aside from overspending, the largest barrier to being rich while working a low-wage job is needing to pay loan interest payments every month. In most cases, paying a high-interest debt makes more sense than taking full advantage to the stock market to grow your wealth. As of 2019, the average credit card interest rate was 19.24% annually. Earning this type of return in the market is very unlikely. So, it is better to pay a high-interest debt than leverage the stock market to grow your wealth. The average American loses $837 in interest a year. While some of this interest is reasonable, such as the interest on a mortgage or college loan, many other types of interest may be easily avoided. The first step to getting rid of debt is to understand why you have debt in the first place. It will be difficult to build an improvement if you don't realize where your debt problem comes from. Consider whether you're spending due to emotions or to impress your peers. You may take action and break any negative habits you've developed over time by determining the main reason for your debt problems. After you've figured out why you're in debt or why you keep falling back into it, the next thing is to find out how to get out of it. There are many various approaches to debt repayment, but here are the 5 most effective ways to reduce debts. First and most importantly, stop taking on extra debt and avoid all unnecessary expenses. Number 2, be realistic about your earnings and expenditures. If you have debt, you either have an income or a spending problem. If you want to understand how to get out of debt, you may need to start making more money and spending less. Number 3, depending on how quickly you want to get out of debt, reduce your expenses and costs. There are some items that you'll probably want to eliminate. You may reduce your Starbucks and restaurant expenditures, or find a less expensive way to exercise. In number 4, generate more revenue by earning more money. You will get more money to pay off your debt, which will hasten the process of debt elimination. Number 5, if you can, always pay more than the minimum. After making changes to your existing financial lifestyle, keep your momentum going by envisioning how much more money you will have when you stop paying exorbitant interest payments. Step 6 is to supplement your income. As I've demonstrated, it is certainly feasible to become wealthy while working a low-paying job, but it will take a long time. Fortunately for individuals who aren't the most patient, there are ways to accelerate your path to wealth, one of which is by increasing your income. This might be in the form of a part-time job, freelancing, or establishing your own business, as long as the money earned or invested goes toward debt repayment or enhancing your investment efforts. Investing is the last step. Here's a story of a minimum wage earner. Ronald Reed was born in 1921 into a poor farming family and worked as a janitor and gas station attendant for the majority of his life. He was a normal, modest guy who enjoyed collecting stamps. However, there's one part of the story that I failed to mention. Outside of his stamp collection and his tattered appearance, Ronald had a secret that was soon discovered when he died in 2014 at the age of 92. His friends and relatives soon realized that he had acquired a fortune. $8 million to be exact. But how could this youngster, born into a poor family and living his entire life in poverty, have amassed such wealth? How can someone with a tiny income gather such a large fortune? The answer is right here: investment. All of the preceding procedures have laid the groundwork for you to become wealthy while working a low-paying job. But it is your ability to invest that will allow you to generate wealth in the end. You perceive the technique of collecting your paychecks and investing them until you have a seven-figure amount in the bank as someone making a modest wage. It obviously would not work if you were making $40,000 annually and saving $5,000. Saving $1 million would take you 200 years. As you can see, investing is the best and most effective method to build wealth on a low salary. Compound interest is at the heart of why investing performs so well in the pursuit of profits. Compound interest occurs when your interest earns interest, which can increase the funds you save over time. If you invest instead of keeping it in the bank, you can turn your $100 towards something greater. If you invest just over 20% of your biweekly income and make a 6% return, you can acquire $2 million by the age of 67. Here are some simple ways to get started. First, set aside money exclusively for investment. To invest your money, you must first begin setting aside funds. It is totally up to you how much money is safe to invest, although in general, the more the better. Second, do your research before actually investing in the stock market or other types of investments. It's a fantastic idea to understand what you're investing in by reading about numerous investment-related ideas and conducting research. Each investment will obtain a clear understanding of your investing decisions, allowing you to make better judgments in the future. Third, find a suitable stockbroker or an investment manager. You can put your money in a brokerage yourself or hire someone to handle your investment portfolio. You'll need to participate in one of these alternatives. Then, decide how you'll invest it. You'll want to determine where you'll put your assets now that you've started an investment plan. Your risk tolerance will determine how you invest. You should track your investment portfolio depending on the duration for which you are investing. The shorter the period, the fewer risks you will take, while the longer your time is, the more risk you may be willing to accept. The next step is to keep track of your investments. This is crucial because you may need to change what you're investing in, put more money into your investments, and so on. Finally, be consistent. As you can see from the examples above, reaping the benefits of investing to become wealthy takes years of consistent effort, but the payoffs are well worth it. As you can see, becoming rich or even a millionaire on a low-paying salary isn't out of the question. In fact, if you follow these steps, it is completely within the realm of reason. Have any other suggestions on steps someone can take to level up their financial game? Be sure to share them in the comments below. Also, if you like this video and would like to see more, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can see all the videos we'll be putting out over the coming days, weeks, and months. That's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. And remember, always keep sparking your financial mindset.